tell us about this fundraising round. Was it more difficult than usual given the market conditions, or did you find people really wanted to put money to work in this area?
Well, Meg, it's great to be here with you. The investors that support the kind of work we do are long-term in nature. They are endowments and pension funds and quite long-term players, and they've been with us for over 2 decades now. And so when we sought this additional capital to be able to start new companies and make a new generation of breakthroughs, we found a very strong interest in the very nature of life sciences and how they can impact health and agriculture.
Well, Moderna, of course, is one of your major companies getting a lot of attention now because it is the first to be in human clinical trials for a potential coronavirus vaccine. Tell us how you see that path forward going, when we could see something that can be used sort of more broadly outside of clinical trials.
Meg, as you know, Moderna is a company that's a little over 9 years old now, and the journey to this point in putting together this completely new approach to medicine, the new drug category based on messenger RNA, has given us a lot of experience that poises the company right now to go after the particular crisis that we're dealing with and try to develop a vaccine that can be tested thoroughly in the 3 stages of clinical trials. It's difficult to put a specific date on things just because it's a very dynamic situation. We've entered phase 1 trials, as been widely reported. We'll enter, hopefully, phase 2 trials. We expect that to happen in the spring, perhaps early summer. And success there will hopefully lead us to phase 3 trials. We are, as was announced earlier this week, with the help of BARDA and others, very much gearing up to be able to meet the demand that could be generated, particularly in phase 3 trials. We expect that if the situation continues or worsens, there will be needs for emergency use, in particular with healthcare, frontline healthcare workers. And we are doing everything within our power to be geared up for the battle. And we expect this to be a long-term battle. We don't believe this is something that will resolve all that quickly. We hope it does in the first wave, but then there's other waves that only vaccines will be able to address. So we're quite committed and focused on this. But I'll also say that we expect that many others will work in this area, and we hope that everybody succeeds because the worldwide demand for these types of interventions is far in excess of what any one player can deliver.
Absolutely. Well, you guys are moving incredibly quickly, but messenger RNA, as you just mentioned, it's a relatively new technology. We don't have any approved drugs or vaccines based on that technology. I remember you explaining it to me years ago when you guys sort of came up with this approach. But what are the limitations to that? What worries you about the development path ahead? What we don't know about this virus and our immune system response to it? What are the potential hurdles to overcome?
Well, Meg, I've been in the biotech space for 33 years, and the industry's been around for more than 40, 45 years. And throughout that time, the thing that hasn't changed is that while we know a lot about the agents that we use to try to deliver value, therapeutic value, vaccine value, we know relatively little about the actual human physiology that we are entering into with our interventions. And therefore, the uncertainties come from exactly how the approach we're using or any other approach will actually have an effect in the human body, let alone many different humans that have variations within them. And that's why the clinical trials are the gold standard that everybody has to go through. It's easy to anecdotally report some signs of hope, but we have to be very, very disciplined. Many things worry us in the sense that there's unknowns, but as it goes, these are kind of known unknowns. We need to kind of focus on the adequate measurements, the controls, the appropriate size trials. And we are very fortunate to have the partnership with the NIH, NIAID, under Dr. Fauci's leadership, to help guide the way. This is not an isolated battle. There's several vaccines that have been tried before across infectious diseases, including a lot of work on coronaviruses, MERS, SARS. And we're benefiting from all of that, plus the thousands of papers that are being made available today in real time. reporting on what's happening, and we can incorporate that into how we proceed.
Absolutely. Well, Noubar, thank you so much for joining us today. We'd love to keep the conversation going as this proceeds, and we really appreciate you being here.